Hi, my name is Terry and welcome to Library Ocean. We're going to have so much fun today. There's going to be crafts and videos and stories and all kinds of other fun and educational activities. So thank you for joining us. I think it's important that we start with the question, what are oceans? We're going to learn a lot about oceans right away in this book called Why is the Sea Salty by Benjamin Richmond. How much of Earth is covered with water? When astronauts first looked at Earth from a distance, they described it as a blue marble. That's because all the water on our planet makes it look blue. Although ice has been found on other planets and moons, Earth is the only planet that we know with liquid water. It's an incredible substance. Water can change from a solid to a liquid to a gas naturally on Earth. Without water, life as we know it could not exist. When scientists reach the stars for planets that might have life, the key ingredient they look for is water. Even though we call it Earth, land covers only a small part of our planet. More than 70% of Earth's surface is water. Water is found everywhere on Earth. Some water is in rivers and lakes, some is even floating in the air as a gas called water vapor. Water is in clouds, underground, and even in your body. But most of Earth's water, over 96%, is found in the oceans. What is an ocean? An ocean is the biggest body of water on Earth. All of the world's oceans are connected, so if you had a boat, you could sail through each of them. You probably wouldn't even notice crossing from one ocean to another because the same water flows between all the oceans. Many scientists think of them as being just one big world ocean. To make it easier to map the planet, though, we talk about the world ocean as being 5 separate oceans: the Pacific Ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, the Indian Ocean, the Arctic Ocean, and the Southern Ocean. The 7 biggest areas of land called continents help divide the world ocean. When an area of the ocean is partially surrounded by land, it is sometimes called a sea. Can you see the seas? Even though the same water flows through all the oceans, the water changes as it moves. In the deeper parts of the ocean, the water becomes very cold. How does water get to the ocean? Have you ever seen water trickle down a driveway and pool together in a puddle after a rainstorm? That's similar to how water travels to the ocean. Water makes its long journey to the ocean through a process called the water cycle. The water cycle is powered by the sun. Heat from the sun causes water to evaporate out of the ocean or lakes, changing it from a liquid into a gas called water vapor. Next, the water vapor floats up into the sky. When the water vapor starts to cool, it condenses or collects, forming clouds. Eventually, clouds get heavy with the condensing water vapor and water droplets start to form. When they are too heavy to float, they precipitate, falling to earth as rain or snow. Some of the rain falls to the ground where thirsty plants use it to grow. Rain also collects in lakes and rivers where animals can drink it. Water in rivers makes its way to the ocean where it collects. Then, on a hot sunny day, some water evaporates again and the water cycle starts over. Why is the sea salty? As rivers flow, they wear away at surrounding rocks and soil in a process called erosion. These tiny bits of rock, dirt, and minerals like salt are called sediment and carried out to the ocean. Once in the ocean, sediment has nowhere else to go. Even when some of the water evaporates as part of the water cycle, the sediment gets left behind. The salt and other minerals build up and make the ocean salty. Over time, erosion can make big changes to the land and ocean. Over millions of years, the Colorado River actually carved out the Grand Canyon through erosion. It took millions of years of water flowing into the ocean for it to become as salty as it is today. How deep is the ocean? If you've ever walked into the ocean from the beach, you know that the ocean's depth changes a lot. The deepest point is the Mariana Trench located in the Pacific Ocean between Japan and Papua New Guinea. The deepest part of the trench, called the Challenger Deep, is 6.8 miles below the surface of the ocean. That is as far down as airplanes fly up in the sky. It is deep enough to bury Mount Everest, the world's tallest mountain, with plenty of room to spare. It is the lowest point on Earth. What lives in the ocean? From tiny plankton to the massive blue whale and from kelp to the Great Barrier Reef, the ocean is one of the most diverse habitats in the world. A habitat is where an animal or plant lives. There are many kinds of habitats, and each one is shared by different creatures and plants. There are a lot of animals and life in the ocean, and that's a lot of what we're going to learn about in our other videos today. What's the biggest animal in the ocean? The biggest animal that has ever lived on Earth lives in the ocean right now, bigger than any dinosaur. The blue whale is 2.5 school buses long and weighs more than 200 tons. Baby whales can gain 200 pounds in a single day. How does the moon move the oceans? When you think of gravity, you might think of it as the force that pulls an apple down from a tree, and that's true. Gravity is what attracts or pulls two objects together, but did you know the moon's gravity is pulling things on Earth? As the moon travels around Earth, it pulls on the ocean. Earth's gravity is much stronger than the moon, so the ocean doesn't get sucked into space, but it does move. When the ocean is being pulled towards land, it rises and covers more or all of the beach. This is called high tide. Later, when the moon is on the other side of Earth, the ocean gets pulled out and the beach seems to grow. This is called low tide. Most places experience two high tides and 2 low tides a day. Will the ocean always stay the same? The ocean is always changing, but sometimes it changes so slowly that we barely notice. Did you know that the Atlantic Ocean is getting wider and the Pacific Ocean is shrinking? North and South America are drifting west very, very slowly, moving only about 1 inch every year. The movement is so slow that scientists can track it with special equipment, but people do not notice the shift. But the ocean is also changing in other less natural ways. How much do we know about the ocean? Many different types of scientists focus on the ocean. Geologists study the ocean's many volcanoes and earthquakes, and they map the mountains and valleys on the ocean floor. Meteorologists study the weather as it travels across the ocean. Oceanographers study how the ocean moves. Marine biologists study the many things living in an ocean. And all of these scientists have so much more to learn. There is still so much on the bottom of the ocean that we are just beginning to understand. Stay tuned to Library Ocean to learn a lot more fun things about the ocean today. Thanks.